Welcome back to your absolute favorite soap sanctuary, Days Drama Digest TV. Today is a spectacularly beautiful day, and we have a wonderfully dramatic, jaw-dropping storyline to sink our teeth into. Grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive headfirst into the absolute madness happening right now in Salem. Let's talk about the catastrophic mess unfolding over at Titan. EJ Tamara is on an absolute warpath, isn't he? We all saw the recent timeline updates where EJ made that chilling, ruthless phone call to Xander, demanding the immediate payment of that massive financial loan in full. The sheer panic setting in at the Kyriakis mansion is palpable through the screen. Xander, Alex, and Philip are completely losing their minds because the entire legacy of Titan and the very roof over their heads is in severe jeopardy. And honestly, I am living for this high-stakes corporate warfare. But here is the wild part. The catalyst for this entire financial apocalypse seems to trace back to our fiery queen, Gabi. She let her guard down, gossiped with EJ, and inadvertently poked the Demera bear. Now, the consequences are raining down on Titan like a monsoon, and the desperation is pushing some of our favorite characters to the absolute brink of insanity. This brings us to the man of the hour, Philip Kyriakis. Oh, Philip. I have such a love-hate relationship with this guy. On one hand, he is a classic legacy character with so much rich history and depth, but on the other hand, his inferiority complex is just exhausting. He is always trying to prove himself to a family that constantly underestimates him. With Titan facing total bankruptcy and EJ holding the metaphorical guillotine rope, Philip is feeling the immense, crushing weight of Victor's ghost bearing down on him. He looks around and sees Xander stepping up as a leader. He sees Alex dealing with his own chaotic baby drama with joy, and Philip thinks, I have to be the hero. I have to be the one to single-handedly save the family empire. But Philip being Philip, he doesn't choose a logical, well-thought-out business strategy. No, he leans into his most toxic, reckless impulses. He decides that the only way to save Titan is through a massive, high-stakes gamble. Typical Philip, right? So, what does a desperate Kyriakis do when he needs liquid cash fast to fund a crazy scheme? He goes begging. And you will not believe who he targets for this insane bailout. He goes straight to Gabi. Can you even believe it? Just picture the audacity. Philip crawling to Gabi, pleading with those desperate puppy dog eyes, asking for a staggering $5 million to buy into an exclusive, ultra high-stakes poker game. $5 million. That is crazy. Why, Gabi? Well, she has the resources, she has the connections, and most importantly, she has a massive guilty conscience right now. Philip knows exactly how to play people when he is backed into a corner. He probably looks at Gabi and reminds her that her little gossip session with EJ is exactly what triggered this entire catastrophic loan recall in the first place. He is laying the guilt trip on thick, and honestly, it is a masterclass in emotional manipulation. Now, let's dive deep into Gabi's psychological state here, because this is where the real meat of the story lies. Gabi is not a fool. She is a survivor, a brilliant hustler, and a woman who fiercely protects her assets. Normally, if a man asked her for $5 million to go gamble, she would laugh right in his face and have him thrown out of her sight. But right now, Gabi is highly vulnerable. She is carrying the heavy burden of knowing her loose lips gave EJ the ammunition he needed to destroy Titan. She hates feeling indebted to anyone, and she absolutely despises feeling like she made a tactical mistake. By funding Philip's insane poker scheme, she sees a twisted, high-risk opportunity for redemption. If Philip wins, the debt to EJ is paid, Titan is saved, and Gabi gets to be the secret, powerful savior of the Kyriakis empire. Her ego absolutely loves that narrative. Plus, she probably negotiates a killer cut of the winnings or some serious equity in Titan. Gabi never does anything for free. And just like that, they are off. Pack your designer bags, because this storyline is taking us out of Salem and straight to the glittering, glamorous, and highly dangerous casinos of Monte Carlo. You can just picture the aesthetics, can't you? The classic soap opera location shoot vibes are immaculate. Gabi looking absolutely flawless in a stunning, jaw-dropping evening gown, dripping in diamonds, while Philip is sweating bullets in a perfectly tailored tuxedo. The atmosphere is electric. This is the kind of slow burn suspense that Days of Our Lives does so incredibly well. The clinking of crystal glasses, the hushed whispers of international billionaires, and the terrifying reality that $5 million of Gabi's hard-earned money is sitting in a neat little stack of chips on a green felt table. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Let's break down this poker scene because I am already visualizing every single agonizing second of it. Philip is sitting at that table, and the pressure is eating him alive from the inside out. Every time he looks at his cards, he isn't just seeing numbers and suits. He is seeing the Kyriakis mansion. He is seeing Victor's disapproving scowl. He is seeing EJ's smug, victorious face. The psychological warfare at a high-stakes poker table is brutal, and Philip is severely out of his depth. And Gabi? She is standing right behind him, her perfectly manicured nails practically digging into the back of his chair. She is breathing down his neck, radiating this anxious, fiery energy. She is silently threatening him with her eyes, basically communicating, "If you lose my money, Philip Kyriakis, I will personally end you." The stakes have literally never been higher for these two characters. It is a brilliant collision of two incredibly volatile personalities, trapped in a pressure cooker of their own making. But we all know how this soap opera formula works, right? The writers build you up just to tear you down in the most spectacular, heartbreaking way possible. The game progresses slowly. Philip actually starts winning a few hands. He gets that arrogant, overconfident smirk on his face that we all know so well. He genuinely thinks he has outsmarted the room. He thinks he is finally the Kyriakis golden boy who is going to save the day. And then comes the final hand, the ultimate plot twist. Philip goes all in. $5 million, plus whatever he has won, pushed right to the absolute center of the table. He flips his cards, completely, 100% convinced he has the winning hand. He probably looks back at Gabi with a triumphant, cocky grin. But then, the opponent reveals their hand, and it beats Philip. The color completely drains from Philip's face. The chips are swept away by the dealer. The money is gone. All of it. Poof! Vanished into thin air in a matter of seconds. Are you ready for the fallout? Because the fallout is going to be absolutely legendary. The sheer, unadulterated rage that is going to erupt from Gabi will be felt all the way back in Salem. You know that horrifying moment of dead silence before a bomb goes off? That is the exact moment between Philip losing the hand and Gabi reacting. She is going to stare at that empty spot on the table where her $5 million used to be. She is going to slowly process the horrifying fact that Philip just flushed her fortune down the drain. And then, she is going to snap. I am fully predicting the slap heard around the world. A massive, echoing, soap opera perfect slap right across Philip's stunned face. Honestly, I might actually cheer when she does it. Do you think Philip deserves that slap? Because I absolutely do. He played with fire, he got burned, and he burned Gabi's money to ashes in the process. Let's do a deep dive into Gabi's psychological profile in this exact moment of betrayal. Gabi Hernandez does not handle losing well. She grew up having to fight tooth and nail for every single scrap she ever got. She built her fashion empire from the ground up. She survived prison. She survived immense heartbreak, and she clawed her way to the top of Salem's social hierarchy through sheer willpower. Money to Gabi is not just currency. It is power, it is security, it is a vital shield against a world that has constantly tried to tear her down. By losing that money, Philip didn't just make a bad bet, he violently stripped Gabi of her armor. That slap isn't just about the $5 million. It is about the profound disrespect. It is about Philip promising her the moon and delivering a handful of worthless dust. Gabi's fury is going to be a terrifying, beautiful thing to witness, and Philip is going to be the sole target of her wrath. And what about Philip? Let's analyze the shattered, fragile psyche of Philip Kyriakis as his cheek stings from the force of Gabi's hand. This is his absolute rock bottom. He tried so desperately to play the hero and ended up being the ultimate villain of his own story. The psychological damage here is immense. Philip has spent his entire life living in the shadows of stronger, more successful men. He couldn't compete with Brady for Chloe. He struggles to command the same respect as Xander in the boardroom, and he is perpetually haunted by the agonizing feeling that he was never enough for Victor. This Monte Carlo disaster is the ultimate confirmation of his deepest, darkest fear, that he is a complete failure. When he returns to Salem empty-handed, Having not only failed to save Titan, but having also dragged Gabi down with him, the humiliation will be absolute. Will he spiral back into his darkest, most destructive habits? It is highly likely. But hold on, let's put on our detective hats for a second because I have a massive fan theory brewing right now. What if this entire Monte Carlo poker game was a brilliant, sinister setup? Think about the internal logic of the show. EJ Demera is a master manipulator. He is always 10 steps ahead of everyone else. What if EJ knew that calling in the loan would push Philip into a desperate corner? What if EJ secretly tracked Philip and Gabi to Monte Carlo and actually bankrolled the opponent at the poker table? It is a classic, ruthless Demera move. EJ could have orchestrated this entire devastating loss just to completely break Philip's spirit and ensure that Titan falls into his hands without a single fight. If Gabi ever finds out that EJ set them up and stole her money through a proxy, the war between Gabi and EJ is going to reach apocalyptic levels. The sheer potential for revenge plots here is absolutely staggering. So, where does this leave the Kyriakis family? The situation is now infinitely worse than when they started. Titan is still facing imminent bankruptcy, the massive loan is still due, and now Philip has completely alienated one of the most powerful, vindictive women in Salem. Sandra and Alex are going to absolutely lose their minds when they find out what Philip did. Alex is already drowning in his own personal tragedy, having abandoned his marriage to move in with Joy while she battles leukemia. And now he has to deal with the horrifying fact that his family's legacy is gone because of a stupid poker game. The family dynamics are going to shatter into a million pieces. The Kyriakis mansion, once a magnificent symbol of immense wealth and power, is now a fragile house of cards ready to collapse in the wind. And Philip is the one who foolishly pulled out the bottom card. And honestly, you have to wonder what Gabi's next move is going to be. She is not the type of woman to just walk away from a $5 million loss and lick her wounds. She is going to demand severe compensation. Will she blackmail Philip? Will she force him to sign over his remaining shares of whatever is left of Titan? Will she use this immense, crushing leverage to force her way into the CEO chair once the dust settles? Philip is now completely owned by Gabi, and she is going to make him suffer for every single penny he lost at that table. The power dynamic between them has shifted permanently, and I cannot wait to see how Gabi tortures him in the coming weeks. It is going to be exquisite, top-tier soap opera television. What do you guys think about all of this madness? Will Gabi's wrath destroy Philip completely? Was the poker game secretly rigged by the diabolical EJ Demera? Let me know your wildest theories and thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in to Days Drama Digest TV. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single moment of our Salem deep dives. Until next time, stay fabulous, stay dramatic, and keep watching the sands through the hourglass.